There's so many different ways we could adjust the conversation. But one of the conversations me and Lila talked about is the need to have
Ruslan.
Focus on the Family released an amazing commercial pointing out the obvious. And sometimes the truth is hilarious when it's obvious. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. The video is titled, "It's a Baby." Here we go.
Well?
It's positive. We're having a fetus.
It's positive. We're having a fetus.
We're having a fetus.
And here we are.
Would you look at that?
Hi, fetus.
Hey, got names yet?
For the fetus? We've got a few we like.
For the fetus? We got names yet? Oh, for the fetus? We got a few we like. Yo, this is amazing.
Focus on the Family would like to remind you.
Fetus on board. This is amazing. This is amazing.
That no matter where you are on your pregnancy journey,
Almost here. Keep pushing. Your fetus is doing great.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This is so good. This is so good.
call it what you want. But the truth does not change.
You want to feel?
Yo, oh Nori, that's dark. Okay, hold on. This is darkness. 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 You guys are laughing. I could promise you there are people who say this.
Darkness, darkness, darkness.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
Wow. Well, I mean, there are people talking about birthing people and all kinds of nonsense. So I could see that. I could see that. That's wild though. That is insane. Oh, this is so good.
Feel the fetus kick?
You want to feel the fetus kick?
It's a baby.
Yes. Yes, that childlike faith right there. Look at that beautiful girl's eyes. It's a baby. It's a baby, you goobers. It's a baby.
It's still a baby.
Yep. It's a baby.com. Okay, here is something that me and Lila Rose talked about. In terms of this conversation, right? We can have logical debates, or we could attempt to have logical debates. We could have coherent conversations about this. We can have feisty conversations about this. I think all that's great. I think telling people the facts, pointing out the incoherencies and inconsistencies of protecting the fetus when someone attacks the mother and the way they get charged legally and the double standards within the law, the double standards and incoherent nature of how people celebrate this when it's something that the mother intended to be a baby versus discarded as a fetus. There's so many different ways we could adjust this conversation. But one of the conversations me and Lila talked about is the need to have media capture people's imaginations and to capture and retake narrative, art, entertainment, humor, and infuse that back into this conversation. And that to me is when you start saying a shift happen. When the shift switches from facts don't care about your feelings, very conservative thing, we're just going to push back, Ben Shapiro vibes. I'm not mad at it, by the way. This is time and a place for it. But when that switches from facts don't care about your feelings to, hey, I'm going to engage your feelings by either telling you stories of how mothers kept the baby and how amazing it was for them and how beautiful it was, right? That's an important narrative. Or I'm going to use humor to point out how silly this is. I think that's where you start seeing a shift happen on a cultural zeitgeist. And we see that. We see that with the comedians, right? We see that with the non-Christian comedians that are kind of poking, right? Dave Chappelle has a very brilliant bit about this. I'd encourage you guys to check it out. David Wood did a video about it, right? Bill Burr had the bit where he talks about, I think it should be legal, but let's call it what it is, right? And he goes, if you leave it in there, it becomes a baby. Stop acting like that's not what it is, right? And so it's like having a cake. You put the cake in and somebody takes the cake out and flips it out. And he's like, what are you doing? Why'd you do that to my cake? He's like, well, it's not a cake yet. What it would have been had you left it alone, right? Punchline. And even Andrew Schultz, who tried to kind of have a both sides view of it, where he said, oh, your daughter's hot. What do you mean? She's only 13. Well, she'll grow up and she would have been, right? And so you're seeing this slide into non-Christians, non-pro-life comedians that are poking and pointing out how silly this conversation has become. So I think the more that happens and the more narrative and media and art is captured, the better it is. And unfortunately, if we're going to be fortunate, if we're going to be honest, Christians, conservatives haven't been too good at using media up until recently. Like up until, and even the way it exploded recently was as a response to the insanity coming out from the fringe left stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, Daily Wire is only successful because of how crazy all this stuff was on a loony left, and then Daily Wire carved out its own place in the marketplace. But it was even that was as a response. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. All of this, I think, is because we've checked out from the marketplace. We've checked out from media. We've checked out from art. All of this, in my opinion, I think is because we've let fundamentalists run amok and just get completely crazy with fleeing from the cities and fleeing from the media and fleeing from art and fleeing from education and fleeing from the institutions. Hey, you want to see something kind of crazy? Over 75% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. Please consider subscribing and turning your bell notification on so that you don't miss anything we have going here. All right? Peace. And I think now, hopefully, some of us are sobering up and saying, wait a minute, we have to lean back into these conversations. We have to lean back into the media. We have to lean back into using art. We have to lean back into these things and make it exceptional, make it amazing, and make it great, make it excellent. And that is how we'll pull people back in. My man CP, the artist, nailed it. He says, we aren't cool. And the left, one of the things they crush it on is identity. Right? They crush it on identity. But I think that's starting to shift. I think you're going to see more and more people that are closeted with their views towards this issue that are going to become more outspoken. And I think when we see that happening, I think you'll start seeing a shift. Right? I think we'll start seeing a shift. If you enjoy what we're doing here, you want to become a monthly partner so that you get the after party to this stream completely unedited. Get the access to our podcast before they go live. We got some amazing guests coming up. And you get access to our private Discord and so much more for only $5 a month. It'll keep us independent, so we never have to take a brand deal and make goofy commercials like these.
Our friends at Genucel Skincare have exciting news to celebrate in 2023.
Using Manscaped during my showers after workout has given me much more confidence.
And that's where Mud Water comes in.
True Classic has got your back.
All thanks to the sponsor of today's video, SayMine.com.
Established Titles is your opportunity to earn the title of Laird or Lady. Subject to credit approval, rates range from 7.99% APR to 19.99% APR, included 0.50% auto pay discount.
If you don't want us to make ads with brands you don't care about, sign up for our online community for as little as $5 a month to keep us independent and ultimately answering to you as our boss. You get all sorts of benefits like daily replays of our after party streams, exclusive access to our Discord community, and early access to our podcast interviews, all starting for only $5 a month.